So today begins a landmark court case in the Supreme Court for the UK, whether Uber drivers are actually independent contractors and self-employed, or if they are supposed to be employees. And this is going to have major implications when it comes to not only just the UK, but when the US and different states are looking at whether drivers are actually employees or are they really independent contractors. And that's what we're talking about right now. Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, whether it's updates to what's going on, news, tips and tricks for passengers and drivers, or what actually happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. Before we get started with today's video, I just want to give a huge shout out to the YouTube channel called the Driver Sensei. Driver Sensei is a great guy, a lot of fun. He does a lot of different things within the rideshare industry, as well as a lot of different fun things for giveaways. So if you want to check that out, head over to his channel, subscribe, show him some love, and a link will be in the description below so you can head over there and do that. But he is also doing a very special contest because I hit 10,000 subscribers as well as a little one on the way. So if you want to participate in it, then you can head over to this video that you see right here where the link will be up in the card as well as in the description below. And what you want to do is go to the pinned comment by the Driver Sensei, hit the like button right there, and for each like, he's going to donate for the baby fund, and then put a comment in there, and on July 31st, he is going to have a thing where you can actually receive some prizes. So make sure you go do that right now, and I'll wait for you to finish that. All right, and now back to today's topic, and that is two drivers in the UK are going to court against Uber, and this is the highest Supreme Court, so their decision will be final, and it's going to talk about whether Uber drivers are independent contractors or are they employees. So it's going to come down to this. The court case will take 2 days for hearing and different things, but the ruling could be upwards of a few months. And this has been going on for many years. So it's something that has been going on for about 5 years now. So if a few more months are added on, but this is going to have major implications for all UK drivers, whether they're going to be considered independent contractors or self-employed, or if they are actually going to be employees. And then also it could have implications when it comes here to the States as well, because they could look at other case law, including those that are in other countries. So that could be something that could play into effect in things like in places like California, which have that AB5 law on the books, and Massachusetts is now suing them. So you could be seeing this in many other states as well too. So this is the article I'm going to be referencing right here, and this is from the BBC News, and it's titled "Ex-Uber Drivers Set for Final Showdown in Court Case." So if you want to check out this article, link is in the description below. And it says, two former Uber drivers will face the ride-hailing giant in court on Tuesday today in a case that will decide whether Uber drivers should be classified as workers or self-employed. Yassine Aslam and James Farrar say by classifying drivers as contractors, the firm denies them basic rights. But Uber says the vast majority of its drivers like being freelance. Now, I haven't talked to Uber and said if I like being freelanced or not. There's a lot of gray area in that. What are your thoughts? Comment below and let me know what you want and what you like. Do you like being freelance as it is right now? Do you want to see a little bit of changes? Do you want to see better pay? Do you want to see some sick pay or something like that? Comment below, let me know what you think and what you like. All right, and then it says, this is our final showdown with Uber, but the stakes could not be higher, says Mr. Islam. James Haywood, Uber's regional manager for Northern and Eastern Europe, says drivers can determine if, when, and where they drive, but can also access free AXA insurance to cover sickness or injury, as well as maternity and paternity payments. Now, the AXA insurance is not necessarily because of Uber drivers. It's a court case that happened previously. And again, this is just saying that Uber drivers have the ability to go on and off when and where they want to drive. So it says, why does this matter? And it says the courts ruled in favor of the drivers in 2016 and Uber lost a subsequent appeal in 2018. So again, this has been going on for quite a few years now. Now, the U.S. ride-hailing firm has appealed again to the UK's Supreme Court, whose decision will be binding. So if the Supreme Court rules in favor of the two drivers, that means they're going to look like it's going to be employees. But again, it could take months for the ruling to actually happen. And then it says its judgment will affect the working rights of tens of thousands of Uber drivers across the UK and could leave Uber facing a hefty compensation bill. Rachel Matheson of Bates Wells, the law firm representing the drivers, says there could be wider consequences for the so-called gig economy. This landmark case will have enormous implications for how well or badly workers in the fastest growing sector of the economy are treated. And again, this is something that is like the wild, wild west. So it's brand new. It pretty much came around late 2000s. So it's something that is only in its infancy. So there's going to be a lot of things to iron out, and you got to kind of see what's going to happen. And this is exactly what is going on. So what do the drivers say? And again, I want to hear what you say, so make sure you comment below. So it says Mr. Islam and Mr. Farrar argue that the drivers for Uber they should have been classified as employees because the firm had so much control over them. For example, Uber records passenger details but does not pass them on to drivers. It also stops drivers from providing their contact details to passengers, which drivers would be allowed to do if they were really independent contractors. So you can't set up your own rides outside or anything like that. And it says Mr. Farrar, who now leads the United Private Hire Drivers Union, said that by classifying drivers as freelancers, Uber avoided having to offer holiday pay, paid rest breaks, and the national minimum wage. Working for Uber, we are not in business on our own account. We are in business as part of somebody else's business, he told the BBC. I don't control the customer. I don't control the price. I'm effectively performance managed and I'm penalized. So I am definitely under Uber's control. What does Uber say? Uber argues that it isn't a traditional taxi firm, but a ride-hailing app. It says it doesn't own a fleet of cars or employ any drivers, but acts as an agent providing the technology to connect drivers and passengers and process payments, which they've been saying with AB5 and they're trying to say here as well. It pointed out that unlike taxis, Uber drivers aren't allowed to accept jobs where a customer hails them in the streets. So again, you can't take cash rides. It has to be done through the app. Uber also says that drivers like the flexibility of being freelance and that its working practices have changed since 2016 when the case was first brought. For example, it says its drivers have more control over their business as they are now able to see a rider's destination before they choose to accept the trip. They also have no obligation to log on to Uber's taxi booking app. And that's pretty much all you have as a driver. But they still will penalize you if you don't accept a certain amount of rides, so you get placed in timeout. You don't have price negotiations. You can't get repeat customers. There's a lot of things that you don't have control over, so you can see where the legal battle is starting to set up. And then it says the U.S. firm said that 9,000 UK drivers benefited from its free health insurance in 2019, and a recent Oxford University study showed drivers in London were earning well above minimum wage. Over a number of years, we made significant changes to our app to offer more benefits with total flexibility, Mr. Haywood said. What could the outcome be? If successful in their case, the Uber drivers could be entitled to an average of £12,000, I believe that's what it is, each in compensation, according to the law firm Lee Day. The firm, which is representing drivers seeking compensation, believes tens of thousands of Uber drivers could be eligible to make a claim. However, Uber will only be legally required to compensate those who have brought a claim. Nigel McKay, a partner in the employment team at Lee Day, said, if Uber loses, it will have no other option but to compensate those drivers who have brought claims for failure to provide holiday pay and where the company has paid them below minimum wage. Now it says right here, the hearing will last 2 days, but a ruling could take months. So yeah, even though that it's only going to be a couple of days for hearings, it could be still a few months before their decision is made. Once their decision is made, I'll make an update because it's going to have vast impacts for all UK drivers And again, it could have some implications for when it comes to US and the states that are suing Uber currently, because they could try to use that type of decision as well to just further back their side of it when it comes to these states suing Uber and or Lyft for misclassification purposes. So it's going to be very interesting. Now that's the end of the video. And again, if you want to participate in the Driver Sensei's giveaway, make sure you head over to this video with where you see the thumbnail and click the link in the description below where you can get right to it. Go to the pinned comment from the Driver Sensei, hit that like button right there, and then comment on that pinned comment, and that is how you will be entered. And then on July 31st on the Driver Sensei's channel, he's going to do a live stream where he will give away the prizes. So make sure you go over to the Driver Sensei's channel, hit that subscribe button, show him some love, say what's up, and then on July 31st, see if you are the lucky winner. And if you made it all this way in the video and aren't a subscriber to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video does come out. Make sure to check the description below for not only the Driver Sensei challenge, but his channel, as well as other helpful information and tips. And as always, never drink and drive, always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers, and we'll see you next time.